Hello, our cows. Hello. Welcome to 2022. I cannot believe it's January. It's a new year. I know you guys have not seen my face in a hot minute, but it is the first Monday in January, and I'm ready to get into the swing of things for my business. So excited! Hi guys, who's my viewer? Also, side note, check out this cool camera thing I got going on. I did not know. I guess it depends on what phone you have if you have an iPhone. But I think the latest version of the iOS, when you go live on Facebook, you can swipe down on the top of your phone and click, it's on your iPhone. You just swipe down the thing, and if you click the video, you can put an effect on it, and it gives you a portrait mode for you to film live on Facebook. How cool is that? I thought that was so cool because I love taking portrait mode pictures, so the fact that I could do it during a Facebook Live is awesome. So hi guys, hello, so good to see you. I know there's always a Facebook delay, so if you guys could just do me a favor and give me a like or love and comment below and just let me know if you can hear me and see me, that would be really awesome. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit, be a little bit transparent with what's going on in my life and my business, and talk a little bit about transition month and how to make 2022 a year that is just completely game changing for yourself and your business. Hi people, hey Jane, I see people are on. Facebook never shows me comments. It's they give you an inf and then they take a mile. I have the awesome portrait mode, but now they're not showing comments, and I feel like people may be commenting. So yes, of course. See, there's Jean's comment. It always happens, guys. Never fails. So I'm in front of my computer though, so I could probably see your comments. Let me just open the video.
And it gives you
anyway. Okay, I turned it off. So, hi, hey Jean, I'm doing good. I'm excited. Guys, do me a favor and tag your people in this video because I can't do it here for some reason. Actually, I'm gonna do it. Let's see if we can get some people on here. Tag your teams. I'm just literally tagging people as I go. Sorry. I know this is super annoying, but I promise I have stuff to talk about. I have stuff to talk about for 2022. Anyway, I just tagged a couple people. I just did it as I was talking. So tag your friends in the video below, you guys. This is going to be beneficial, and we all know Facebook algorithm stinks, okay? So they're probably not going to get notifications until 7 days from now because that happens. I hate Facebook and I love it all just the same. Anyway, listen, I want to talk to you guys. I don't want to make this so long, but I do want to be transparent with you, and I hope that you stick it out with me because I promise there's a message in my madness, and there's just been some things that I wanted to share with you and let you know that I am somebody who will always be transparent with you and let you know my struggles as much as, I let you know my strengths, because I'm nobody perfect, and I may be a top leader in Scentsy, but I also struggle just the same, and I go through dips in my business and points where I feel like giving up or I don't want to put in full effort and things like that. And that's been a season that I've been in this past year specifically. As I'm sure many of you can understand, the past couple years since, COVID started, it's just been crazy. And so in the past, I would say maybe at least in the past 6 months, definitely through the winter, I have been in a funk, you guys. I've been in such a funk where I feel so disconnected to my business. To the point where sometimes, this is super transparent, sometimes I don't even check my news tab. Or go on my workstation. And that is really different for me because I've always been somebody that has preached check your news tab every day, stay on top of things, right? And I've just been in a season where I've been so checked out from my business. I feel like I'm not a good leader. I feel like, I'm not checking in with my team members. I'm not, just staying on top of things. Even my customers, over this winter, I've had customer mail that didn't get out on time. I've had, you know, just like people who I would say I'd place their order, and then days would go by and I didn't place their order, and then they'd message me back and they'd be like, hey, did you ever get that order in? And I'd be like, oh my God. And it's just because I've had so much going on in my life. And if you guys know anything about me, I'm very much a no excuses person. I'm somebody where it's like, it doesn't matter what you have going on, like you get it done. And that's been really hard for me to swallow because I've always been that way. I've always been somebody who just does things. And I don't even want to get emotional, but I don't know. I've just had such like a disconnect. I couldn't even really tell you what it is or why I've been in this funk, but I've had a disconnect from my business. A lot of it has to do my husband's schedule. And I know I say this all the time. I feel like every time I do a training or every time I do a coaching call or something with somebody, I'm always like, oh, my husband's schedule, because a lot of what he does predicts how I work my business. Like I literally have to do things around his terms, and that's fine. And we've always done that. And that's the crazy thing. My husband's been on the job for like 12 years and I've been doing Scentsy for 6 years. So like I've always been accustomed to his schedule, but it changed like 2 years ago. He got a promotion and his schedule changed. So it's more demanding, which is fine. Like we've worked that out, but we also have a baby now. You know, my daughter's going to be 2. And so, having her, you know, the past 2 years, a very clingy baby through a pandemic. I call her a pandemic baby. If any of you have had babies during the pandemic, you know they're clingy babies. All they want is you, right? And she's like that with me. Like Audrey is just like stuck to me 24/7. I finally just stopped nursing her after 2 years. Like literally this past week through Christmas. Oh my God, I'm so happy. She's the longest that I've ever nursed any of my children. And I'm so grateful and thankful that I had the opportunity to do that, because with Dylan and Natalie, guess what? I was working full time and it was hard nursing. If you know what it's like to have to nurse a baby while working and pumping and doing all that, like it was a lot. But it was much easier to transition them because I was working and they were on bottles a lot. Even though it was breast milk, they were still on bottles. And with her, it's just been the boob. No bottles whatsoever. So she's been super clingy on me the past 2 years. I finally, like I said, just weaned her, and I'm so proud of myself for making it so long, but it took a toll on me. It took a big toll on me because she was so attached to me for so long. And on top of that, with his schedule, I just feel like I didn't have, like, I don't know. I just feel like I didn't have like the mental capacity to even think about Scentsy at times. And so it's just been a number of things. And I know I'm coming on here emotional like on a Monday, but I want to be transparent with you guys because I never want to be seen as a leader that doesn't care or somebody that's checked out of their business. I've just had personal, like, just life has been going on. And so I've also had some health issues that I've come across lately that I don't want to get in. I know I shared a little bit about it yesterday. I had so many people reach out to me, so thank you so much for those of you who have touched base. But it's not even anything like super crazy, but I'm just having some heart complications. That's where I'll leave it. And so hopefully it's something that once I find answers, I'll be able to treat. So I'm not like too concerned, but it's for the first time in my life ever having like real health issues has been hard too. And that I do fully believe has been because I've nursed her for so long. I'm not somebody who I forget to take my vitamins. I know that's so bad. And I feel like that has worn me out too. So I'm glad to be past the nursing. I think now that I'm done with nursing, I can now focus on my own self, and my health and things like that. And anyway, so I just want to come on here and tell you guys that like, I get in it too. Like, I don't know if you've had what your 2021 was like, but, my 2021 was all over the place. I don't want to say it was horrible, but I just feel with regard to Scentsy, it's been a disconnect for me. And it's hard because Scentsy is my happy place and I love Scentsy so much. And it's the one place that when I come to work my business, I feel good. You know, I feel like I can step away from being a mom and I can step away from, you know, being like, you know, just keeping on top of the housework, or, you know, doing all the things for everybody. Like, that's what I love so much about Scentsy, is that it's our outlet, you know, for so many. And I know it is for me. So it's been hard that I've had that disconnect, because usually this is the place that I go to decompress, is work my business. Plus, on top of the holidays, you guys, like, I don't know about you, but I think because I felt so scattered and disconnected from my business, I also have felt very stretched thin. Like, I didn't even know where to start. Sometimes I would come and I'd be like, oh my God, there's another LTO. How many of you have felt that way? Another LTO coming out. This week it's this, next week is that. And to be honest with you, you know, sometimes I wouldn't even promote some of the LTOs. And I know that that sounds crazy coming from your superstar director, but I'm a big believer in, like, you have to just do what makes you happy and helps your business thrive. And it's so easy to fall into the compare game, especially when you see other leaders or other consultants like doing all the things, and they have the whiff boxes and the mystery boxes, and they're promoting this LTO in their story, and next thing you know, they're doing that LTO, and it seems like people have their ish together. And so it's easy to compare. And I want to tell you that I've been there so many times, and it's very easy to fall into that and feel like you're not doing enough because you see other people doing so much. But I want to tell you that that is completely okay. And there's nothing stating anything when you join Scentsy that you have to perform a certain way, because you're an independent business owner, right? But we do that because we make connections and we thrive off each other's ideas and stuff. And so it's just easy to feel like you're not doing enough when you see so many people doing so much. But you know, I think no matter what, as long as you know you're achieving the things that you want for yourself and your business, then it doesn't matter. All those other things don't matter. And so I got to a point, as I'm wrapping up my ramble here, I got to a point over the winter, and especially over the holidays, where I checked out from Scentsy because I felt like I couldn't keep up with everything going on in my life, on top of feeling the need to, you know, now, like, I felt I can't even keep my own business in check right now. How could I train people and teach people to do the same when I'm not even doing it myself? And I'm a big believer in leading from the front, and I felt like I wasn't leading from the front. And so I just kind of checked out. And, you know, I didn't promote certain things at certain times. Like, there were certain LTOs that I was choosing, like picking and choosing to share with my customers, or when I was able to. And even here on the team page, you know, I feel like a lot of times it was easier for me to see what another leader shared on their page and copied and pasted it for you guys. And that's inauthentic. And I never want to be that way. But sometimes you got to roll with the punches and do, you know, whatever you're able to do in that moment. So I'm not coming here to like apologize for anything, but I want to just let you guys know that I go through moments like that too. And that's been a season that I've been in, right? But I'm also a big believer in, you know, it's okay to get to a place where you feel like that, but it's not okay to stay there. And I'm not staying there. It's a brand new year. You know, we have so much in store. Like this month specifically, there is so much going on. I finally have a moment. My kids are back at school. I have a clear mind, and I can actually think about how I want to proceed into 2022 and, you know, making my business, getting my business back on track, and really being the leader that I was set out to be when I recruited my first consultant. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. And so I hope that this is giving you a little bit of inspiration to know that it's okay to feel stuck, and it's okay to feel complacent. It's okay to get through points where you don't feel like you're doing much, right? But the important thing is learning how to move past that. And so I just want to share a couple tips that work for me in moving past things like this and getting myself back on board. Number one, we have 2022. It's a brand new year, perfect clean slate, okay? So I know Facebook, and still I don't have any comments here, but if you're picking up what I'm putting down, at least give me some likes or love, and let me know you understand. Or if you're in a season or have ever felt like you've been in a season like this, let me know, because I'd love to be the one to encourage you, to let you know that you can get past times like that, okay? So what I like to do in a new year, and specifically now, going into 2022 and like reevaluating my business, first of all, I need like a clean space. Okay, so if you guys have I don't know about you, but like through the holiday season, my office gets in shambles, okay? So not to mention all the gift wrapping and things like that I do for my children, but also in my office, like it's a huge disaster. Well, it was. I cleaned it yesterday, but it was, I mean, boxes, tissue paper, wrapping, everything was all over the place because I felt so all over the place. So as I was doing things, I wasn't staying on top of my mess. And how can we think in a mess, right? So my very first suggestion to you, if you feel in this funk, okay, and you're ready to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and say, okay, new year, what do I do first? Is to give yourself a clean space if you have not already, okay? Who has already started a clean space for their office into 2022? If you haven't, I highly suggest let that be the first thing, okay? And I don't care if you have an office space or a small corner in your living room. Wherever you go to work your business, have a designated space that is clear and organized for yourself to think clearly, okay? I cannot think in a mess. I cannot think in a mess. It drives me insane. So that's my number one, is I clean my office. And I did that yesterday. I was so excited. I got it done. I was so happy. I threw out so much stuff. It felt so good to throw out so much stuff. I had like old catalogs that, it stinks that I didn't like use them after buying them, but like I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna keep this, I'm just throwing it out. That's, maybe some people would think that that's like bad for not like recycling or things like that, but like I just was like, I'm getting rid of it, I can't. And I feel better, I do. Even just that taking the weight off of, has taken so much weight off of me, okay? And anyway, so that's number one, is get a clean office. The second thing that I'm doing around this time that I would highly suggest, especially if you're somebody who uses a desktop, is to clean your computer files, okay? So many times, especially with Scentsy, we have files and documents and things that we download from the workstation and other Facebook groups and things like that, that we share, we get from other consultants. And if you're anything like me, like I save or I download a lot of that to my computer, and then it just sits there and sits there and sits there and sits there, and it just clouds up. Even on like my Google Drive, where that's like a shareable drive that I share with my team, right? Files and things like that. Or maybe you saw another consultant share something from a drive, you click that link and now it's in your drive, right? Like even your Google Drive, if you have one, or your Dropbox or whatever that is, I would definitely go through that and eliminate anything that you don't need, okay? The one thing, I love Google Drive, but the one thing that bothers me is if you're working on a document, it auto saves it. So even if it's just something quick that you're not necessarily going to use in the future, it still saves it. And it's good because it's always there, but then it just sits there. And so anything that I had like, spreadsheets that were like, maybe I ran a report on my workstation and then it opened up in a spreadsheet, all those things are there and they cloud up and they take up memory, not only on your computer and, in your drive, but also in your mind. And so anytime I go on my computer and I look at that, it drives me crazy because I'm like, oh my God, I don't know where to start. How many of you have crowded desktops? I would like to know. Because let me tell you, my desktop, for the most part, until I clean it out, is like thumbnails, because I'm always downloading things from the internet. And so anyway, just like a digital cleanse is what I would say would be very good for yourself going into the new year. So take the time to clean up your office and also clear off your desktop, okay? And all of your files. With that, I would also say any emails. This is the time of year I not only delete emails in my inbox, but I unsubscribe to emails. How many of you throughout the year scrolling on Facebook, you see a sponsored ad and you're like, oh, this is like a cool training, I'm gonna sign up for that. Next thing you know, you're in that person's email list and you have all these crazy like, hey, Patty, this is my new business plan, blah, blah, like all these crazy things that like you may or may not need, and if you don't need it, my suggestion would be to unsubscribe from them, because then you're just going to keep getting those emails. And I have so many, like, oh my God, it drives me insane. Sometimes I like so bad to the point where like, I'm just going to create a new email and just like not sign up for anything, because I have so much junk that comes to my email every single day and it drives me crazy. And so this may or may not bother you, but it really bothers me. So I would definitely clear that out, okay? So that you're only getting important things. You want to see things, especially from Scentsy, if you have a new team member, or if you have a downline that rolled up to you, or there's a new promotion, right? Like there's so many things that are important that you can definitely miss. And I know for sure that's happened to me so many times with all the, crowded junk that I get in my emails. I've even had things from like my kids' school that have come by where I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even see that. it's my own fault. But that's because I don't thrive on clutter. I thrive on like organization, but I also get cluttered very easily because I have an ADHD brain. So that's a big suggestion that I would say right here, right? Is clear your files, clear your email, clear your office space, get any like accounts that you have in order for the year. Your Scentsy, like how are you paying for like your customer transactions? Okay, do you have a separate checking account that you keep for your customers? I have my joint checking with my husband. I have a personal checking for myself that I use as like my business account for my customers, and that's like the money that comes in and out. So so even something like that, so that you can go in with a clear mind, like this is for Scentsy, this is for family, this is for Scentsy, this is for family, and make sure anything like those are cleared up. Okay. And then once I feel clear in my mind, like my computer is good, my office is good, I feel like I could think, I then brain dump everything that I want to get out, whether it be for this month, this year, everything, just get it out on paper. Okay. Anything that's on your mind that's like, okay, oh, I want to do this month, or I want to do this year, or things that even personal things in your life that you have going on. Like I have to schedule my doctor's appointment. I have to schedule my eye doctor. I got to schedule for my kid's dentist. Like just anything that needs to get done. I would do a personal list and I would do a business list. Okay. And just dump it out. And then after you dump it out, prioritize it. Okay. And say, okay, what is most important here? What do I really need to work on first that I know needs to get done like this month? And then like the more long-term things that you want to aspire to, the goals that you have, then, you can work on that on a month-by-month basis or down the line. But definitely brain dump it, and then you're going to prioritize by what's important, okay? So some things that I have on my quick dump list, which this is just one that I just wrote down here. Where's my thing? Okay. So for this month regarding Scentsy, okay, what I have is some things that I need to do, me. I mean, obviously yours may vary, but one is to order my transition business supplies. That for me is first, because we're going to need new catalogs, we need new testers, we want to smell the scents that are coming. Transition month is huge, and so this is the perfect month to prepare yourself for your business, and it just gets you overall and set up so you can go into the spring without like, oh my god, I don't have catalogs, my customer wants to smell this, oh my god, I forgot to get the testers, So when you're able to, I would definitely do that. I like to tell people or advise people to do that around Scentsy Payday we have coming up. That could be a good investment into your business. And right now this month we have a 10% sale going on all of the products, plus the Success Store. The Success Store has the business supplies. So all of the fall and winter, like the current fall and winters are, I believe they're 50% off. And then the new spring and summer set is, I think, 20% off. So there's also sales going on things too, okay? I always say if anything, get catalogs and testers, but if you want to save a little bit money on the catalogs, you could even do product list or even the showcase brochures where they're a little bit thinner and they're lighter for mailing. But catalogs and testers, if money's tight, I mean, there's going to be things on the Success Store that you might feel like a kid in a candy store for, but most importantly is catalogs and testers. That's the smell that sells, and that's what's going to help people buy products, right? And help you get a return back on that investment. So that's something. Also, I know for myself, I do my customer mail, but I also am starting a newsletter. I started it in January or in December. It's like a printout newsletter that I've been doing, and I've been incorporating it into my customer mail, where it's it tells a little bit about me and my family, what we've been doing the past month, and then it also gives any personal specials or upcoming Scentsy specials on the back of it. It's really awesome. And my customers loved it last month. I only started it last month, but I've been doing my customer mail out system for a while, so I just added it to that. So that I have to create right away because that has to go out this month, right? There's also Bring Back My Bar this month. We have a bunch of things with Scentsy that are going on that I know I need to get prepared for, as well as party bookings. Oh, and order my new season sales kit too. Okay, so those are just some little quick priority things for me that I have on my list that I'm okay, this is what I have to do. And I honestly couldn't even think about it until I came here and sat down in a clear space. And remember what I said, a few minutes ago, where I was feeling stuck and just disconnected from my business, was because a lot of that was just hustle and bustle of the holiday season, and also just like not being able to have the time or mental capacity to think clearly. And so I'm finally at a point where I can do that. So it feels good to be able to like get it down on paper and say, okay, this is what I gotta get done. Okay, so list out your priorities. Okay, and then lastly, before I let you guys go, because I so appreciate you sitting in here and listening to me ramble, I want to give you some insight into how to make your 2022 awesome. Okay, and these are things that I try and do in the beginning of the year. And I don't always hold to them, right? I told you guys I'm a big squirrel, so sometimes I set out goals for myself and I don't achieve them. Sometimes I set out like, I'm like, oh, I want to do this year, and it doesn't happen. But I also like to reflect and ask myself why, okay? And most of the time, if it hasn't happened, it's because I didn't work towards it, or I didn't give it my full commitment that it deserved, which I feel happened to me last year. Like I said, I had my own personal reasons why I felt off track, but I can look at that and say, it's okay that I got that way, but it's not okay to stay there. So how could I change it? Okay. And you guys know I'm big on trial and error. And that's the best thing you can do in your business, is learn how to fail forward. Okay. Look at your obstacles and say, how can I move past that? Okay. So the first thing, in order to do that in 2022, I want you guys to look back at your 2021. What went right for you? What went wrong? Or not wrong, but what did you achieve? Did you have any, anything that you set out for yourself that you weren't able to obtain? Was it a promotion that you were going for? Was it a program, maybe if you're a leader? Was it maybe creating a new, I don't know, like a customer mail system, or maybe you wanted to do whiff boxes last year and you just never couldn't get to it, right? Whatever the thing was that you wanted to do in 2021, or things that you wanted to do, what were they and what worked for you? That's what I want you to focus on first. What worked, okay? What were the things that truly brought you in? And when I say worked, I mean like results, like brought you in income. What did you do in 2021 that was good, that was good for your business? And then anything that wasn't, identify that and know what it is, so you can at least avoid making those same mistakes, or avoid making those same habits. Okay, I don't want to say mistakes, but like the same bad habits that led you to not be able to achieve those things. Like, just think what went right, what didn't go right. And then after that, I want you to look at your results. And I always say, you guys will always hear me say, don't focus on the results, focus on the process. When you focus on the results and you don't achieve the results that you're looking for, you're going to be let down. Right? Like if you're going to book parties and you focus on, I'm not getting parties booking, everybody's saying no, you're focusing on the results, and then that's discouraging. But if you're focusing on the process, where you say, okay, I'm going to get parties booked, I need to talk to 10 people today, I need to text them this conversation, and you're not focusing on what they're saying, you're focusing on what you're saying to them, right? Like how you're getting those party bookings, your overall feeling about it is going to be a lot better. But in the end of the year, or in the new year, I like to say, look at the results that you got, okay? Because throughout the whole year, and did it align with the goals that you set for yourself? Did it align with your PRV goals that you had set? And then you'll be able to tell yourself why. Why didn't that happen? If you, set out for yourself, I wanted to do a minimum of 2,000 PRV every month in 2021, but I didn't achieve that, right? Like, why was that? Okay. Remember what I said, 9 times out of 10, you're going to look at yourself and you're going to say, it's because I didn't try hard enough. I didn't try hard enough. Or of course, life things happen, right? Like there's things that go on that maybe not necessarily meaning you didn't try, but I think when you reevaluate that and you figure out why that was, it's going to help you overcome that going forward, because you're going to know what mistakes to avoid, right? So you're going to look back at 2021, what went right, and then you're going to look at your results that you got over the year and ask yourself if it aligned with the goals that you had set for yourself. And if it didn't, you kind of know what you have to do going forward, or what not to do going forward, right? Like if you have parties that you want to get booked, more parties. Maybe you didn't get as many parties booked that you wanted to in 2021. I know I didn't. I for sure know I didn't. And you know why that was? Because I wasn't asking. I truly and transparently was not asking people. And so the only person that I can be mad at is myself, right? And the only person who can change that is me. So I look at my, this past year and I say, okay, well, I know I need to get parties because parties lead to conversations and conversations lead to recruiting. So I know that that's what I need to do, but I didn't do that last year. And so why was that? It's because I just wasn't asking. So what do I need to do? I need to ask, right? I need to make sure that I'm asking people. And so asking yourself why it didn't work is going to help you figure out what you need to do to change that, okay, if that's something that you want. So I know going into 2022, that's my first goal. That's my first priority with regard to getting parties is I need to truly ask people and not just like rely on my follow-up. And I'll tell you guys too, like this is a thing. When you start accumulating PRV in your business with online orders, follow-up, Scentsy Club is a great way to accumulate PRV that you don't really have to like push that hard for. Like sometimes it's easy to just rest on that and say like, so pretty much every month I hit a minimum of 2,000 PRV. Rarely is there a month that I don't hit 2,000 PRV, and that's without parties at all. And that's just because I have Scentsy Club. We have a lot of Scentsy Clubs on there, club members on there. I have a really good customer follow-up system through my mail outs that I've showed you guys time and time again. I have, just my regular follow-up where I check in and I place orders. I have my VIP group that I share, right? Like, so those are all great ways, but the problem is that this is network marketing, and this is not to drift into another topic, but like networking consistently in your business and meeting new people is what is going to grow your business. That is what is going to grow your business, is meeting new people. And so Scentsy Club, customer mailouts and follow-up, and my posting in my VIP group, where is that PRV coming from? That's coming from my warm network, the people who are already buying and purchasing Scentsy from me and supporting me. That's from my warm network. Now, I randomly will get new customers on Scentsy.com from time to time, but being that I haven't had parties, well, there's my answer right there. That's why I'm not growing and why I feel stuck, because I don't have new people coming into my network. And so the only person I have to blame is myself, because I know that parties lead to that. Okay, and there's a number of different ways to meet new people. I'm not saying parties are the only way to meet new people, but I know for myself, parties are a fast way to meet people because Scentsy is a party planning company. So for me, I know I need to get parties booked in the new year. And so that's a goal for myself. So anyway, so just look at your results, right? See if it aligns with the goals that you set out for yourself and what you can do differently going into 2022. And then create some projections for yourself and your business, okay? How many bookings a month would you like? How many bookings, parties, whatever, would you like to have a month? How many recruiting conversations would you like to have a month? And I know sometimes when you ask yourself that, it's kind of scary, because then it's like, you're almost like holding yourself accountable to it. Like, I know if I say it out loud, I'm like, oh, well, damn, do I want like 8 parties a month or, 4 parties a month? Like, and then I'm like, am I going to be able to hold to that? But if you don't put it out there, how are you going to know what you're going to work towards? How will you know what you're striving towards? If you set some real attainable goals for yourself and stretch yourself a little bit, don't just say, oh, I'm going to do 1 party a month because that's what I'm comfortable with. Stretch yourself a little. If you're comfortable with 1 party a month, go for 2. Okay? My daughter's crying out there. But, set some real attainable goals for yourself in the new year. And just hold yourself to that, okay? Matt, can you move her? Let me let her in. Hang on a second. Come here. What happened? Did you get hurt? What did you do? Say hi. Hi. She's sitting here. She has a Halloween shirt on. You okay? What happened? Oh my God, her hands smell like Scentsy. What were you touching? Are you touching wax? Yeah. Anyway, set your projections. How many bookings would you like to have a month? How many recruiting conversations? Where are you going to put your full focus? And how are you going to be able to hold yourself to that? Go ahead, you color. And be able to hold yourself to that, okay? And And the last thing that I want you guys to do is, Matt, where's Daddy? Can you come and get her? I'm sorry, hang on, because I have one final thought. It's like Jerry Springer, my final thought. Hold on. Go ahead, you can take that pen inside. Can you take her, please, and close my door? I'm doing a video. Anyway, here's my mom life, finally back in my zone to work my business. Anyway, guys. So, lastly, what I want you guys to do, okay, you look back at 2021, like I said, you look at you focus on the results, and if it was something that aligned with what you wanted, and if it wasn't, right, you figure out what that is so you can change it going forward, and you set some projections for yourself, some attainable goals for yourself on a month-by-month basis. And then lastly, I want you guys to give yourself some grace and say that 2021 was a different year, and this is a brand new year and a clean slate, and it doesn't matter what happened last year, because what matters is what I'm changing going forward and what I'm doing to fix whatever it was that I wanted to do in 2021 that I couldn't, okay? So give yourself some grace first, okay? And a good way to do that is if you go on your workstation and you go to your performance tab and you run a report on your workstation, you can pull a report by going to like the filters up top and highlighting everything from January 2021 to December of 2021. And it's going to show you all of your PRV for the year, and it's going to show you all of like your team wholesale for the year and all of your recruiting for the year and everything. And you can look back on that. So first of all, you can look at that and you say, wow. Sometimes we look at the big picture. Like sometimes when we're going on a month-to-month basis, we're like, oh my God, I didn't hit the goals that I wanted, or I didn't get the PRV that I wanted, or the parties book that I wanted, or that team member didn't join like she said she would, right? And so again, we're focusing on the results. We're getting upset. But when you look at the bigger picture, sometimes you realize you actually are growing more than you thought you would, okay? And what I would do is I would actually analyze that from 2020. I would go back to 2020 too, and I would look at 2020, the full year for 2020, and then I would look at 2021, and I would just compare them both. And sometimes looking at that, you're like, wow, I actually really did grow a little bit. Or sometimes you look and you're like, I'm right on par, or, you know, the year prior was, my numbers were a little bit better. But then you can at least look at it and say, well, okay, why was that? Why was my recruiting and my PRV, my parties and all that, why was that better in 2021 but not in 2020, but it wasn't in 2021? And sometimes just reevaluating and looking back, it helps bring those aha moments to you. And when you have aha moments, you're enlightened and you're inspired. And when you're inspired, there's no telling the great things that can come out of, you working your business. So anyway, guys, I hope that this was, a little bit of, an inspiration to you this morning. Thank you for listening to my sob story. But I just want you to know that we all go through it, including myself. I will never claim to be perfect, and I will never claim to know it all. And I'm always going to be learning right alongside you. And so anytime I have aha moments or things that I share them with you in hopes that it can help you before you get to a place where you feel burnt out like I have, okay? So anyway, I love you guys, and I appreciate you listening, and I hope that you have the best 2022 and an even better start this month. We have so much going on. Take advantage of the Scentsy specials that we have, and when you have time, like I said, and you've cleaned everything out and you have a moment, really sit down and go on your news tab and look at everything that we have coming. And, if you haven't already, and just get yourself prepared, because when you feel prepared, then you're going to be able to, it's just going to help you that much more going forward. And you can go in with a clear mind and say, okay, let me talk to these customers about bring back my bar. Let me talk to these customers about parties. It's so much easier going in when you feel prepared. Okay. So I hope that this was helpful, you guys. And again, thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you soon. And I'm sure I'll be sharing later today all like the things going on in 2022. Talk to you. Bye-bye.